The final step in this process is the Module 9 assembly. This is where we're going to put all the parts we've made together into one functioning thing. Okay, it's going to end up looking like this. You can see all the parts we've made. It has it all exploded, so it kind of shows you where everything goes. And down here it tells you how many of each part you're going to end up needing. So we go back into Inventor. I need a new file, and this one we're done making parts, so we go down to the next step, and it's called your assembly process. I'm going to go Standard Assembly and hit Create. The first thing I need to do is bring in all my parts. So I'm going to hit Place, and I'm going to come to my parts list and see what I need. It says I need 1 base plate and 4 corner guide blocks. So I'm going to go base plate and bring in 1. Okay. Click, and there it is placed. I'm going to hit Place again. This time I need my corner guide blocks. So corner guide block. Hit open, and I need 4 of those. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. It says I need 8 base pins and 8 base screws. So place, base pins. I need 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I need 8 base screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go ahead and stop here and get one of these guide blocks put on, because if you look, the base plate connects to the guide block, and then parts 3 and 4, the base pin and the base screw, are what connects these guide blocks to our base plate. So let's go ahead and get one of these set up. So I'm going to right click, cancel. When I'm putting things together, I'm going to use constrain. When things are rectangular, you're going to use mate, which glues them together, or flush, which lines them up. When you're dealing with the cylinders, you're going to use insert. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this corner guide block glued down here and lined up. So I'm going to go mate. I'm going to click the bottom of this to the top of this, and it's going to glue it in place. It's not quite perfect yet, but I like that's a good start. Now we're going to do flush, because I need these sides to line up. I need the 2 sides that are not cut to come back against this. So I want to flush this side with this side and hit apply. Now there's just one more step. I need to flush this side with this side and hit apply. If at any point you realize you've made a mistake and something's not on there correctly, you can click this corner guide block, hit the plus sign, and it shows you all the constraints that you've applied. You can delete any of them at any time to undo it if it's wrong. Okay, and it even kind of highlights what's going on. Alright, so now I would like to get these screws and pins put in here. Okay, so I'm going to hit constrain. Since I'm dealing with these screws and pins, I'm going to go insert. I'm going to click the top of my pin and click the top of that hole. It's kind of going the wrong way, and if you look at this one's highlighted, I actually need it to do this, so I'm going to click this one. Now it's perfect, and I hit apply. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one and hit apply. Now I need to do the screws, so I'm going to click the top of that one. I'm going to go down into here and click there. It doesn't quite look right, so I switched it. Hit apply. Do the same thing with the next one and hit apply. Again, if something doesn't go in right, you can always delete it and try again. It's not that big of a deal. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and do these other ones and get them all put on there, and then I will start the video back again to do the next steps. Alright, I hope you have all those corner guide blocks secured on there with all the base pins and base screws. Now we're ready to go on and add our next stuff. So next it says we can start bringing in the crank arm and the crank knob the knob socket screw, the slide block, the slided thread block, the arm pin, and the arm socket screw. So let's start bringing all this other stuff in. So I'm going to hit place. I need one crank arm. I'm bringing a crank arm. On that crank arm, I'm probably going to need my arm pin. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up there with it. Probably also going to need my arm screw, so I'm going to put it up there with it. Next thing I need is the crank knob. It's going to go up here. In the crank knob, we're going to need the knob screw. And then these are going to attach to our slide block and our threaded slide block. Okay. And it looks like I actually might have that crank arm up backwards, so I'm going to need to flip it around. So next we're going to put in our slide blocks and start putting on this crank arm. To put in the slide block, I'm just going to need two constraints because I still want it to be able to move up and down. So I'm going to constrain by mating the bottom of the base plate to the bottom of the slide. And then I'm also going to mate this side right here to the inside of the bottom of one of these and hit apply. Those are all the constraints I want from that. All these other parts, you can tell they're constrained because when I move them around they stick together. But with this slide block, I want it to be able to move back and forth. I'm going to go ahead and make this base plate. I'm going to pin it so that it cannot move around. Make it grounded. There we go. That way this will move, but everything else will kind of stay in place. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one over here. So constrain. I want to mate the top of the base plate to the bottom of this. Hit apply. And then I want to do the side of this. This one's going this way, so I want this one to go back and forth this way. So I need to get to the inside of one of these. And then hit apply. So now this one will move back and forth this way. And this one will move back and forth this way. Alright. So now we are going to do the arm pin into the unthreaded block, and then the arm screw into the one with the screw. And we want to flip this around. So we're going to go constrain, insert this pin into this hole, and then this pin into this one that's not threaded. I'm going to switch it around, hit apply. Okay, let's see how that's working so far. Alright, notice that they're all attached and moving back and forth. Okay. Now we are going to take the arm screw and do the same process from here to here to here. So constrain, insert. Okay, so I've got that from there to there. Then I also want to go from here to there, and currently it's not wanting to do it. Anytime it doesn't pop it, like make that sound and move, you know it doesn't like something that you just did. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. Basically it's just a kind of trial and error process to get this to work. Okay. Alright, that time it went, so I'm going to hit apply. Now let's look and see how it's working. Okay, it's sliding both of them. Kind of glitchy, but they're moving. Okay. So now our last step is to get this knob put on here. Okay. I can move just one piece at a time by doing free rotate, clicking on it, and rotating it. I did that because I want to be able to see this side right here. Okay, now I'm going to constrain. Again, we're using insert because I want to do this screw into here. So I'm going to go the screw into here and hit apply. Okay, so that didn't quite work the way I wanted to because I wanted that to be flush. So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to click this screw. Okay, it highlights it over here on my list. Now I'm going to delete that insert real quick. Okay, so then it just lets me move them apart again. Okay. Alright, so let's try again. Constrain, insert, the bottom of this. I want it to go to the bottom of there. There we go. Hit apply. And then we want to do this onto here and hit apply. Alright, so now we have everything put together. And when we turn the knob and the handle, our toy works. And now I know that you're completely finished. I can prove it by if I try to drag any of these pieces apart, none of them will come apart. That's how you know that you are fully assembled. Congratulations, you did it. Do File, Save As, name this Toy Assembly, and save it on your flash drive.